Hey guys, I'm going to show you today how I start making a tech house track from scratch using the SampleWorks Tech House sample pack. So as you can see, I've got my Logic page opened up right here. So the way these samples have been put together, they've been created by actually making tracks and then breaking down the tracks. So if we go here to master samples, it's a really good place. We can hear the actual samples of the tracks that have been created. So let's just have a quick flick through vibe wise what we're kinda is gonna inspire us. Cool. Okay, cool. As you can hear, loads of really cool vibes. They sound really well produced. I'm going to start with this fire up. That's the kind of vibe I want to go for. I really like the drums. So I'm going to go back to the main sample folder. Then you go here, you see song starters. I'll find fire up. And here I've got all the samples from that actual track. So I'm going to drag them in. Create new tracks. Just easy like that. In Ableton, it's probably a lot easier for you guys. So this master sample here is the whole track. I'm just going to delete that. I'm just going to arrange it into a way that makes sense to me. So I've got the kick, then I've got the clap, then I've got hats, then a bass, then vocal and a bass. Right, so let's just have a quick listen to this to check if we've got the right sounds in. Nice. Okay, so a really cool vibe, and all these, let me tell you how I created these tracks, and this is the difference between using SampleWorks samples and other sample companies. So I've designed these tracks ready for the club, and what I've done, I've produced and mixed and mastered them myself. But what I cleverly did is when I bounced them out, I didn't turn the normalize function on. So what you're getting is the actual loops that I created and the actual leveling, and not a lot other sample packs, they're not doing that. When they're bouncing out loops, they're normalizing everything, so you have to remix all the drums now. I've taken a lot of time to mix these down with processing and leveling and compression, and so the loops sound really great as it is, and I can prove that by this. So if I just turn a limiter on now, I've just got a normal limiter and I've pushed the gain up so to make sure I'm as loud as other tracks that we're going to be comparing against. And I've got a reference tool here to reference if I've got a track in with just drums now. So I'm going to play R drums now, which is A, and when I flick to B, it's going to go to a really great track by two friends of mine, Velvet and Chris Lake, called Deceiver, and we'll hear the level of the drums and the style of production and how close we already are. So you can hear how well produced our drums are, and already we're in a really good place. Now let's just for instance say, okay, cool, well I like these drums, but I don't really like that clap, so I want to change the clap. All right, that's cool. So we'll go back to our samples. We'll go to drums, drum loops, and then we're going to have clap loops. We'll just pick a clap out from any of these, and these are all bounced from the other tracks that I made. So let's pull in the loco clap. We'll just get it in time. And then we'll just hear it. And obviously, like I said, because I've mixed these all into the same gain stage and range, everything just works with each other. Sweet. Different vibe to the clap, but it works. Might want to turn it up a little bit. Sounds great. But let's just say as well, we want to have a different vibe on the hats. So I'll go to the drums, hat loops, and this is just how easy it is. Let me just pick anything randomly. Rolling hat loop. Let's put that in there. Okay. And then our time stretchers again. So you can hear it's a bit more laid back. But again, now if I flick to the reference track, we're still in that range of being very well produced, very club ready. This is what these samples are about. They are completely club ready samples. Let me just get one more hat to just prove that again. Let's go for polo hat loop. Okay, that looks like the same speed. Okay, great, straight in there. You hear these samples, they're just, you can hear they're club ready samples. They're absolutely ready to destroy a dance floor. That sounds a little bit loud. We'll just pull it down a touch. Not much though. Okay. Okay, cool. We'll keep that clap for instance. So I'll remove this old clap and actually like the original clap in here. Sorry. Actually like the original clap and this new polo hat. Let's go with them. Cool. So now let's just hear the bass with it and everything. Okay, great. Now I'll show you something else. So say for instance, I'm going to get another track up and I'm going to play a section where there's bass and we're going to A-B the two just so you can hear how even with the bass lines, they're already mixed, sidechain, some expert processing going on to make the bass thick and ready warm for the clubs. So you can hear we've got all the volume, all the weight, everything ready there to play in a club. And this is the beauty of these samples. The way I've produced them and the way I've bounced them out is so you can just slot them straight into your project. Minimal changes with leveling. If you're obviously using the same samples from the same song starter kits, everything works together. But as you saw, I've chosen some other samples and I put them in some slight leveling, but everything works well together. Everything's been really well produced and everything is ready for the club. Now I'll show you one more thing before I go. So say for instance, this is an original bass loop, and if you're quick enough to get this pack and release it before anyone else, and that's yours. But say for instance you're not, and you like the sound of this and you like the vibe and you want to create something similar vibe wise, but you don't want to use the exact same bass pattern, we're going to do this. We're going to get a sampler, and in Logic I'm going to use Contact Sampler. Ableton guys obviously use the original sampler. I know everyone uses different things. So now let's go to, for instance, the sample folder, and I'm going to go to bass hits. Now if you remember, our sample our song starter kit was called Fire Up, so we'll get the Fire Up bass hit, put that in there. Now let's just press. Okay, nice. So I'm just going to play something now. Turn it down a little bit. Right, cool. Right, let's put that in. Cool. Quantize these, just quite simply. Okay, cool. Now, because these bass hits have been replayed, I'm going to want to put a simple sidechainer on here. I use the Vengeance multiband sidechainer just to get rid of the clash between the kick and the bass. So that's a completely new bass pattern we've made. Now let's just for instance compare it to level wise, you know, because this is the whole concept between sample works, club ready samples. As you've seen, I've hardly done anything. I've got a really good solid sounding drum sounds there. I'm not going to change much. I pulled the bass note in that I've liked the kind of sound of the bass. I've played a simple pattern. All I've done no processing. All I've done is put in a sidechainer. Let's see how it stands up to another track that's been really well produced. As you can hear, it is up there, totally stands up drum wise, weight wise, level wise, and this is what I'm talking about. This is the beauty of these samples. Now in this you have 10 different song starters, 10 different vibes that you can start with, and everything has been expertly processed and leveled that you can just simply swap samples out, simply swap the bass notes out, use some of these for inspiration, play your own bass melodies in, do what you want. You can go absolutely crazy with these, and I'm guarantee that you're gonna make killer club ready tracks from using our sample pack. So check it out. It's a Sampleworks Tech House Volume 1 pack from the Sampleworks guys. I highly recommend these. I absolutely love using these samples.